What's going on, people, and welcome to my match recap and my player ratings for yesterday's game. Brighton 1, Manchester United 0. They got their revenge. I've been saying it in the preview and the build up to this game. They were looking for revenge, and it was a kick in the teeth, to be honest, the way it happened in the game so late on. Luke Shaw with a handball from the corner, and for me, he was my man of the match, even despite that. So it was a hard one to take in the fashion that it happened and ended. I still would give Luke Shaw man of the match for us, despite that, because I thought he was brilliant, apart from that moment at the end. It's just hard one to take when you're that close to getting a point, even if they I think Brighton probably were the better team throughout the game. But it's still hard to take when you're that close to getting a point and coming away with a point, and then it ends like that. Fantastic penalty, I must say, from McAllister, under that amount of pressure at that time of the game. Top bins, De Gea's nowhere near it. Fantastic penalty, and they just get my respect even more and my props because they're a fantastic team to watch. I thought Matoma definitely had his day over Aaron Wan-Bissaka, even though he didn't score. I think he had him on ice, which is interesting because I think like Aaron Wan-Bissaka had Matoma in his pocket for the semi-final, so I think they're 1 for 1 right now. It was a good battle again, and as I predicted, they had most of the ball. And we were the counter-attacking team, and we nearly came away with something. I do feel like too many of our players were wasteful with the chances we did create, and at the end of the day, we got punished for it. If you don't take your chances, you're really making it hard for yourself when things like that happen at the end of the game as well. So our finishing needs a lot of work. I'll get into the ratings in a minute, but I think Brighton did deserve the win overall at the end, but it's still a painful way for it to happen. Obviously, we've got West Ham on Sunday. I'll be doing a preview for that either later tonight or tomorrow. The preview will be up for that. I think that's slightly a harder game than it would have been if we'd have got a result in this one. Serbi doing a fantastic job, as I said. He has had a fantastic season. They're probably going to get Europa League football, which is just more than massive for a club like Brighton in terms of the financial side as well, that it will help bringing money into the club if they use the money right, which I think that they will, because they've got that track record of the recruitment of players they bring in and the right players to suit the system. So I'm happy for them. It's 1 for 1 with that semi-final win for us, and then them getting their revenge in the league. You could even say it's 2-1 to them because they've beat us in the league twice this season, and we only have the one victory over them in the semi-final of the cup. So perception and how you look at it. I don't like playing them. They're a tricky team, and it's always a battle, and we always have to put everything into it to get even close to getting a result. So props to Brighton. We move on. Hopefully we can bounce back against West Ham. As for my ratings, De Gea, I'd give him an average of a 5. Probably could give him a 6 or a 7, but I feel like because we didn't win the game, I can't really give him above an average, even though he's not the one to go at the other end and score the goals. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh. Probably could get a 6, but I gave him an average of a 5. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, 4. As I said, Matoma didn't score, but he caused him a lot of problems throughout the game. And for that reason, I'd give him a below average of a 4. Lindelof, 4. I like Lindelof a lot, but I do think he had some shaky moments in the game of like giving the ball up or just getting dribbled past too easily. So I don't think he had his best game. I'd give him a 4. Luke Shaw at left centre-back. Obviously, we know the handball at the end is his fault, and I don't know why he done it or what he's doing. But throughout the game, I thought he was flawless beyond outside of that moment. Clearances, blocks, positivity on the ball, progressive on the ball, and filling in at left centre-back spot, looking like a natural at it. I have no gripes with him other than the end bit with the handball. And he was my man of the match. I'd give him an average. We could give him a 6, but I'd give him an average because we didn't win the game. Delo, 4. I thought he got beat a few times I can remember. He looked a bit wasteful at times with possession, and he gave some silly fouls away, so not great from Delo. And I think Malacia deserved to be playing at left back ahead of him, to be honest. So Delo, 4. Fred, 4. I've been shouting his case for him to get back in the team and start, but I don't think he really affected the game. Didn't have an impact. He had his energy, but in terms of on the ball and helping the team, I don't think he did. 4, and their midfield just ran through us constantly. Casemiro, I thought was dreadful. Should have got sent off probably with the amount of challenges he was putting in, and was lucky not to get sent off. I thought he was sloppy in possession again. just not great from him. He had one header that went pretty close for us, but other than that, defensively, I thought he was really poor. 2, Anthony 2, again, he missed about 3 chances where he should be hitting the target, and he don't even hit the target, and it's not good enough. He gets in great positions to score, but then he wastes it because he can't even get a shot on target. So for me, disappointing, and he probably should have been sent off for his reaction on a tackle because he wanted a foul, and then he threw his toys out of the pram like a little bitch and a little baby, and he should have got a red card for me for that reaction alone. I know it's frustrating when you feel like you should get a foul, but you can't then act like a 2-year-old that wants more cereal and you're told no. Because he's trying to square up to Dunk and doing this chest bump, and Dunk didn't even move. Like, he looked like a complete twat. And he's done this in a few games where his temperament is really a liability. And for me, he was terrible again. 2. Bruno, average 5. He was my man of the match, probably into about the hour mark. And then I ended up giving it to Shaw overall. I thought he looked creative, he looked lively. I thought he looked on it. But other players were letting him down, the likes of Anthony, the likes of Rashford, the likes of Martial. So I don't think anything was at fault for Bruno, really. I thought he had a decent game, or at least an average. So I'd give him a 5. Rashford, 3. I don't know what's happened to him in recent weeks. But, well, probably since that semi-final against Brighton, he's not looked the same. You could argue even slightly before that. He's kind of gone back into head down, running into people, not scoring now, not looking clinical when he's in that final moment like he was. And he missed a few chances yesterday, but he gave away the ball so much yesterday. And he doesn't track back enough for me. Yeah, not a good one for Rashford, 3. Martial, 4. I thought he made a few good runs at times, but not enough. Didn't have a ton of service, but yeah, I remember him having at least one chance where he should have done better, I feel like. So I think it was a decoy for some, like the likes of a Rashford and an Anthony at times with runs off the ball, which created space for them, but they didn't make the most of it, and I still want him more involved on the ball as well. So for me, below par, 4. And then the subs, we had Sabitzer, Sancho and Weghorst. I thought Sabitzer looked positive when he came on, looked strong and won us like a foul, and I thought he looked positive, as I said, and impacted slightly. I'd give him an average, but Sancho and Weghorst both are 4. They didn't impact the game at all. Sancho lost the ball, well, at least once I remember when he came on, like needlessly and not really a lot of pressure on him, and he lost it. And Weghorst just runs around like Peter Crouch with no talent. And it's like having a cart horse up front. I've said it before. He's got no speed, no acceleration, no talent. And that might be harsh, but I don't think it is. He's terrible. I wanted to like him when we got him, and I tried to give it a bit of time with him, but he is terrible. And as bad as Martial was, I've gave him the same rating, but you've got to think, he was on the pitch for a lot less time than Martial, and I've gave him the same rating. Probably could have easily have had worse as well. He just runs around like a headless chicken without the speed. It's like he's trying to press, but he might as well be pushing. You don't know what a press is. He couldn't press a push-up. That is my thoughts on it, guys. Ten Hag, for me, I'd give him an average. I don't think his subs worked. I think the starting 11, for the most part, he only made 2 changes to the starting 11 I would have gone with. So I'm not too upset about that, but I don't think his subs worked. And I do think, like, tactically in that, De Zerbi had more, he had one up on him. Excuse the pun, but I do think he had the better of him in that game yesterday. So, not great, but it was only 1 goal, and we're talking probably 2 minutes at most where we nearly get away with a point. So, I don't think there was a ton in it. They probably did edge it over the duration of the game, Brighton, but it hurts to lose that way. It does hurt. Average for Ten Hag, and my man of the match, as I said, would be Luke Shaw, despite the handball. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. As I said, either later tonight or tomorrow, there will be a preview up for the West Ham game. Enjoy the football. I'll catch you guys soon.